They wanna give him 109 for following the legal line. Bitcoin Jesus paid his dues. Now they tryna make him lose. Free fear, can't silence the truth. Free fear, breaking their own rules. Free fear, from prison to Spain. Now they're doing it again. First investor in the game, now they wanna kill his flame. Hired lawyers did it right, still they wanna pick a fight. Core devs changed the protocol. Government wants total control. Attorney-client privilege dead. Using compliance plans instead, yeah. First investor in the game, now they wanna kill his flame. Hired lawyers did it right, still they wanna pick a fight. Core devs changed the protocol. Government wants total control. Attorney-client privilege dead. Using compliance plans instead, yeah. Free fear. Free fear. Blockstream got the way back then. 1 meg blocks, remember when? Big blocks meant decentralized. Small blocks kept us paralyzed. Now they're coming for the king, using laws like puppet strings. Spanish prison, McAfee died, making sure Veer stays inside. They can raid the lawyers, what? They can seize the files, yeah. But they can't stop crypto, running wild, running wild. Brownstone dropping truth bombs daily. System going crazy lately. Trying to lock up Bitcoin Jesus, but they cannot defeat us. Fear saw freedom in the code. Now they wanna block his road, but the movement's too damn strong, and this persecution's wrong. Free fear. Free fear. Free fear. Free fear.
Down on 9 years for following legal advice. That's not justice, that's a warning.
Free Roger Veer.
From Silicon Valley to the Spanish shore, fighting for freedom, but they want something more. 10 months in prison just for speaking his mind. Now they're coming back trying to leave him behind. 109 years for following the law. Most corrupt case that you ever saw. They can't silence the truth, they can't change what's right. Bitcoin Jesus showed us all how to stand up and fight. Free, free Roger Veer. Free Roger now. Hired the best lawyers, did everything right. Still they raided offices in the dead of night. Used his own compliance as evidence of guilt. Now his freedom hangs on the empire they built. Speaking true with a price, but we won't let them sacrifice. Oh, they can't silence the truth, they can't change what's right. Bitcoin Jesus showed us all how to stand up and fight. freedom for all. Either stand together now or watch freedom fall. They can't silence the truth, they can't chain what's right. Bitcoin Jesus showed us all how to stand up and fight. Free, free Roger Ver. Free, yeah. Free Roger now.
Welcome back to the Aaron Day Show. Today is December the 5th. It's been a while since I've been back on. Hopefully we have all the audio issues figured out and are ready to go. This should be a very exciting and information-packed episode. I think several weeks back I did one on Free Roger and the audio was completely garbled. So we're going to completely reset. And so much has happened since then. So this will be a much more informative episode in any event. And so I'm going to hop right in because there's quite a bit to go through. And I'm going to start with some of the housekeeping items. I did a ton of travel. My wife and I think were everywhere. I mean, in terms of all over the US and then starting to branch out overseas last year. And so I'm going to tell you some of the events that we have coming up. This is only a partial list, and it does look like 2025 is going to be about taking this message international. The first couple of events that we have are actually in Miami. So we're going to be at the We're All Going to Make It conference, which is the biggest blockchain event in America. So that's going to be in Miami, January the 22nd through the 24th. And then right after that, we're going to be also in Miami at the Counterparty, which is the 25th and the 26th. That's Tatiana Moroz. That's her event. That looks like it's going to be a great event. 200 to 300 people, really focused on hands-on applications for how to exit the state and build solutions that are independent of the behemoth. Then after that, right after that, we're going to Mexico for the People's Reset. This is also going to be a fantastic event. Probably going to do, in addition to a talk, a full workshop, which I am in the process of completely reworking the workshop. That's one of the things that I've been spending my time doing in the background. Basically, what we're looking at in 2025 is we want to be able to not only onboard people to crypto, gold and silver, but we want to be able to onboard merchants in the workshop so that they're actually able to take cryptocurrency in the workshop from people that have been newly introduced to using cryptocurrency for payments. And so I want to level up and move to this stage where people are actually conducting peer-to-peer commerce coming out of the event, because I think that will take everything to the next level. And then after that, I'm going to be going back to Mexico for Anarchapulco, which is going to be a great event. I'll be a keynote speaker there as well. Might also do a separate workshop breakout. And then we have events that are being scheduled for Europe and all over the place. And I will be resuming our own freestanding workshops, although probably only going to do one of those per quarter. And then with the idea of moving towards having an online version so that we can reach more people. The in-person meetings are great because this it provides an opportunity to get hands-on feedback, direct feedback from both consumers and merchants, which is critical. And then we're actually bringing our partners along, so the wallet providers, point of sale system providers, so that they can actually see in real time how all this stuff works. So exciting things moving ahead. I want to show you 3 metrics. I'm calling this the final countdown. But these are, to me, the most important 3 metrics right now. One is, how many days do we have left until 2030? So I want us to all focus on the fact that with this election, a lot of people are, somehow all of a sudden feel that, the whole problem with government is that we just didn't have our people in there, which I want to remind people that what we're actually fighting against is a one world global technocracy. That has not changed just because of the election. So to me, what's important is that we actually analyze legislation and analyze political activity in all various countries in terms of what it is doing in terms of advancing or retreating with respect to global government. And by the way, I will tell you, I don't see any reason to be overly optimistic about the fact that there's anything from a policy perspective that is going to unwind the move towards a single digital currency with a social credit system. So we only have 1,853 days until 2030. The other metric is how many days has since Roger Ver was arrested in Spain. Ver, I should say. It's been 222 days. He's been there for over 7 months. And I want to remind everybody that John McAfee was in Spain for 8 months, exhausted all of his legal process, and lost his final appeal at the end of 8 months. So, Roger, I have no particular insight on the timing of this, but he's probably close to that decision point on extradition. So I keep that in mind every day as this Free Roger initiative continues. And then we have 46 days until Trump's inauguration. And I want to say I'm really optimistic about our ability to help Roger to get the word out and to continue this grassroots effort to help him achieve a pardon. And I think that this pardon can happen on day one. There are some people that are like, oh no, it's not going to happen right away. And it's not a competition of Free Ross versus Free Roger. Both of these things should happen at the same time, and it should happen right away. There's no expenditure of political capital to pardon Roger because there's nothing actually controversial about his case once you dig into the facts of it. And so this is only 46 short days. And so there's going to be a big ramp up in effort, and you've probably seen it if you've been following. There are a lot of great people involved. This Free Roger thing it's a group project. It's a grassroots project. A number of Roger's friends are working on it, and a number are doing media appearances, and it's really started to accelerate. And part of tonight is I'm going to talk about, an interesting part of the strategy or of this strategy that I want to launch, which is, related to not only helping to raise the awareness about this pardon campaign, but also to help reverse the dynamic, which is that the IRS and the federal government is doing this to have a chilling effect. They're doing it to have a chilling effect on the technologies that Roger has been promoting that actually facilitate P2P commerce, that are actually the solution to CBDCs. And so, in addition to helping raise awareness to Roger's situation, I want to turn that chilling effect into a galvanizing effect and use this as an opportunity to actually increase adoption as opposed to having a chilling effect. And so, I'm going to go through. I'm not going to go through a lot of the stuff. If you're following the campaign, this website, the Free Roger Now .org website really is the best place to go to find out in real time what is going on with the case. And you can see as you scroll down here, you can see some of the people that have signed. You can find information about the case itself. There's a link to the Zero Hedge article that I wrote, and then a description of what's going on with the legal case. And also a link to buy Hijacking Bitcoin, which I highly recommend because that, I believe, is also part of why Roger's in this situation. But there are great videos here that I highly recommend that people watch. And if you want to learn more about what's going on with the specifics of the legal case, really look for videos that have either Tracy Thurman in them or have Robert Barnes. Robert Barnes is one of the best tax lawyers in the United States and has worked on some really high-profile cases, and so he's been gracious enough to advocate for this. He was actually following this case for quite some time, and Tracy Thurman has done a phenomenal job as well and is very up to date on the intricacies of this. And so Tracy just did an interview with Mike Adams with Health Ranger, which is, I'll be sharing the clips for that, but that's a great one. Robert Barnes just did an interview with, he's done one with Viva Fry. He was on Alex Jones, and there was also one with Tom Woods that also had Steve Patterson. So I really recommend checking those out. And it's phenomenal that there are all of these people stepping up to help represent this situation. So I'm not going to go through all of the details on this, other than to say that yesterday, Roger's lawyers filed a motion to dismiss the case. And the more you look into this, I mean, basically, they're going after Roger. Roger paid taxes when he left the United States. He hired accountants and lawyers to advise him. And this is at a time when no one else was actually doing this. People didn't even know how to value crypto in 2014. Mt. Gox had just collapsed. Roger actually dotted all of his I's, crossed all of his T's, did all of the right things. And the government just decided, almost 10 years later, right after he, released this book, Hijacking Bitcoin, and right as he was talking about Zano and privacy coins, decided to arrest him, go after him retroactively. In this process, they violated his attorney-client privilege, raided his confidential communications. I mean, there are numerous constitutional violations, and so his lawyers have filed a motion to dismiss that is very compelling. And I think hopefully the actual motion itself will be up on the site. Oh, here it is. If you scroll down to the bottom, motion to dismiss, this will give you the most up-to-date information on all of the specifics. You can actually read the full motion to dismiss itself, as well as kind of a summary snapshot of all of the key points. And so I'm not going to really harp on that, because there are better people to talk about this legal case. What I want to talk about is something different, which is, it's why is this happening? We know what is happening with Roger. We know that they manufactured this case, and they picked this really questionable timing. But I really wanted to delve into why. And so that's part of what I'm going to discuss today, and also discuss what it is that we can do about it, because I think we're having a big impact. And as I said, I really believe we've got a great shot. And if Polymarket has anything to say about it, by the way, Polymarket just added Roger to the question of who will Trump pardon in the first 100 days. So I encourage you to check out that prediction market. And I know a lot of people were advocating for that. And I know I flagged the CEO, and many other people did. And so I'm grateful for however this ended up happening, however this got added. I'm very excited about it, because I believe this will bring significant awareness to this case. But also look at where Roger is. Roger's like right there with Ross. He's kind of opened up at 62%. So I think there really is a strong chance that we can do this. And if you look at these other situations, I mean, Ross Ulbricht had his mother advocating for him. Julian Assange had Stella Assange. This is up to us. We as a group, using this grassroots campaign, using this Free Roger campaign, we can be that voice. And I think even though we only have 40 plus days to do it, I actually think that there are enough people putting enough energy behind this that we can raise the awareness. And then I'm going to talk about something, a lot of you might not know that Roger's actually a brown belt in jiu-jitsu, and that actually inspired part of what I'm talking about tonight. So if you know anything about jiu-jitsu, it's not about brute force. It's essentially about using your enemy's energy against them. And so I've thought about that quite a bit. And I've thought about, okay, so what's going on here? Who's going after Roger? And if I think about this, and as you know, I've dedicated myself to fighting CBDCs. And the conclusion I've come to is that the reason they're going after Roger is the single biggest threat to CBDCs. And I say that because he earned the Bitcoin Jesus name because, if Roger wasn't there in the early days from 2010 to 2015, Bitcoin wouldn't have hit $100,000 this week. People would not know about Bitcoin, and it would not be used as much as it is, despite the fact that it was hijacked and everything else. And I'll chat about that in a bit as well. But Roger's invested in over 40 different projects, and he's always been consistent about wanting peer-to-peer digital cash for the world. the very first time I heard him talk in 2012, it was about providing an alternative to central banks that stops the funding of these endless wars all over the world, and that allows everyone real financial inclusivity, allows anyone anywhere in the world to be able to use money that is fast, cheap, and separate from state, separate from central banks. That has always been so. In addition to supporting Bitcoin early on, before it was hijacked, Roger was also a co-founder of XRP. And I know a lot of people are going to say, oh, XRP, I don't like XRP. Yeah, I'm not a fan of XRP myself at this point in time, but Roger invested in the original founder. He was the original founding investor. Jed, I can't remember his last name, but was the actual founder of this. He's no longer at XRP, but Roger was there at the very beginning. And his thesis was that, well, hey, maybe there's a way to have a P2P digital currency that doesn't have the same environmental impact as Bitcoin with proof of work. That was why he invested in that. And he's invested in and supported a lot of other projects. And when Bitcoin was hijacked, Roger didn't create Bitcoin Cash, but he ended up kind of reluctantly at first supporting Bitcoin Cash because it did actually reflect the original vision of peer-to-peer digital cash. And so in any event, he's been very effective. XRP is now the third largest crypto by market cap. Bitcoin is the largest by market cap. So if you are the central bank and your collections agency is the IRS, and you're trying to stop this guy, and you're trying to stop anything that could impede your ability to roll out CBDCs, Roger's going to come up as enemy number one. And I think that's exactly why he's in this situation, because this case against him has no merit. It is so blatantly politically motivated. And so it's had an effect. It has had a chilling effect because I interviewed Roger early on before he had any opportunity to do any mainstream interviews. Imagine if Roger had talked about hijacking Bitcoin on CNBC or on Fox Business or on Joe Rogan or with Brett Weinstein or some other platforms that have big audiences. There'd be a completely different perspective now on what's going on in the world of Bitcoin. And in fact, I mean, today, if you look at what's going on, you have the chair of the Federal Reserve saying, "Oh, see, Bitcoin is digital gold," and people are now celebrating this new narrative. And to me, in a way, that's kind of checkmate because Bitcoin wasn't supposed to be digital gold, and we need peer-to-peer digital cash. Digital gold does not solve the problem of CBDCs, and so not only has this case against him had a chilling effect on this, as I will talk about later, it also has had a chilling effect on the project that Roger was just starting to actively promote, which is Zano, which is, if you've been following me, a project that I've taken interest in because Roger mentioned it to me. And so they've been effective, and I think we need to turn that energy against them. I think we need to take this entire situation, this entire campaign, and bring awareness not only to the miscarriage of justice and the complete violation of Roger's constitutional rights, but we should also use this as a tool to spread privacy coins and to spread alternatives to central bank digital currencies. And so I'm kind of inspired by the jiu-jitsu aspect of this. And again, just to highlight, and I've shown some of these clips before, I'm not going to go through all the big ones, but this is where Roger's position has been on why he's interested in crypto from day one.
And how much money you have.
underrated project in all of crypto?
The most underrated one that I do know about, I think, is probably Zano. I'm a big Zano fan. Zano. They have it's the guy that wrote all the code to build it is the same guy that wrote all the code to build Monero originally. And so Zano's kind of like Monero in that sense, but you can have staking on it. And you can, I think the rewards like 6% APR or something on your stake Zano. But the part that, if it gets traction, I think will really be a big game changer. So it's totally private, like Monero. You send a transaction, you don't know who sent what to who or any of that. But you can stake it, which previously, before they figured out how to do that, people thought it would be impossible to stake a privacy coin, because how do you know how much you've staked if it's a privacy coin? But somehow they figured out how to do that. But it also has tokens, but the tokens are totally private as well. So imagine like anybody can make like a Monero style privacy token on top of this blockchain. And then there's escrows built in. And it's like, nobody's really started using this in commerce yet. But when people figure out that you can have like totally private, anonymous, like tokenized escrow stuff, like there's just so much amazing, cool commercial stuff that can be done on this. And so like, I think that's probably the most underrated project that I'm aware of. Probably Zano. I'm a big Zano fan.
What's going on there. So I implore you to think, if you were a fan of Monero, where are the privacy tokens? I think that's the next big thing that's going to be exciting in the world of cryptocurrency. And so anyhow, I just want to thank everybody for coming. What an exciting time to be alive. We're right on the verge of AI becoming the smartest thing on the planet. But just like there's lots of humans that are much smarter than me on the planet, I get to benefit from their knowledge and their resources and the things that they do. All of us humans are going to get to benefit from AI and the new things and the new amazing things that it's going to figure out how to do. So I just want to thank everybody and invite all of you again. If you're not using cryptocurrency in your daily life very much, use it more. If you're already using it a lot, get all your friends and everybody to use it more, because that's how we're going to spread this technology to the entire world. And I just want to thank all of you again for being in part of this amazing journey, because we're really changing the entire world for the better thanks to cryptocurrencies. So thank you all so very, very much.
So that was Roger's last talk. So again, right at around the time Hijacking Bitcoin was released, Roger was just starting to talk about privacy tokens and just starting to talk about Zano. And so I want to say that when he introduced me to this idea, I think he'd heard me talking about the fact that I think we need a easy to use point of sale system and an easy to use wallet. And he reached out to me and he said, listen, you really should look at Zano. And so I didn't just blindly say, okay, well, I'm all in. But obviously, if Roger says, hey, maybe you should take a look at this, he's got a pretty good track record. He's why I got into Bitcoin. And then when I started living on cryptocurrency in 2019, I was predominantly using Bitcoin Cash. So I did what I normally do. I did a complete deep dive on this. I read the white paper. I went to the website, read all of the information, joined the Telegram group, downloaded a wallet, started using it, started asking people about it, started really kicking the tires. And I was just at Monerotopia in Mexico, and I had an opportunity to meet in person the whole Zano team. And I will tell you that this project is amazing technology, and it is everything that Roger had indicated that it was. Basically, they've been working on this technology for 10 years. The main developer behind this project worked on the creation of CryptoNote, which is essentially the underlying technology for Monero. But the whole team, Pavel, Andre, Val, and everyone else on the team from a marketing perspective, it's just a very intelligent team, but also committed to the truth. And they're also very humble and very accessible. And so I've really spent a lot of time kicking the tires on this. And I'm incredibly excited about it. And again, from the perspective, because we are now in bull market season. I got to be honest with you, I hate bull markets in crypto. This thing that happened yesterday with Hawk was, this happens every time there's a bull market. We end up with these celebrity influencers promoting tokens that have no purpose. There's not even a use case. There's not even a potential use case. And this sucks all the oxygen out of the room. And as I've been harping, and what I really resonated with when Roger started talking about privacy tokens is this: CBDCs are tokenized money. But what they're working on, these people that are working on building this global technocracy, is taking that same tokenization technology and all of its surveillance features, the ability to program, track, and censor, and they're going to digitize all of our other assets. They're going to digitize our bonds, our computers, all of our physical assets. Everything is going to be tokenized in a centralized manner. So money only represents 5% of global assets. Everything else, all of those other asset categories, represent the other 95%. So these things need to be tokenized. This is why Zano is such a powerful solution. I mean, somebody here said, in fact, to the point where I'm going to be rolling out a gold-backed privacy stablecoin using Zano, and I'm not going to talk about that on this podcast, and that's a later topic of discussion. But it's after kicking the tires with Zano, it really is a phenomenal solution. And so, in the spirit of this jujitsu move and trying to reverse the chilling effect that they're having, I think we should use this as an opportunity to get people to start using Zano and using privacy tokens, and make it so that whoever came up with the idea of, hey, we're going to politically go after this guy so that we can have a chilling effect and then violate all of his constitutional rights so that we can set a precedent and then go after everybody else in crypto, we need to shove that right up their backside. And so I'm going to talk a little bit about Zano today. I don't usually talk about price, and I want to state again that I live on these assets. I stopped using a personal bank account, so I only use cryptocurrencies, gold and silver. And in the last 4 or 5 months, I've actually switched only into privacy coins because of the fact that we now know that these public transparent blockchains can not only be traced, but are being traced. And this is how, for instance, they got Ross. This is how they got people like Ian Freeman and countless others. The United States has 200,000 Bitcoin. It did not get these by mining. It did not buy these on the open market. They got it through civil asset forfeiture, which is theft. And they can track people's transactions. So this is not a problem in the future. This is a problem now. And Zano actually addresses that. I will show the price chart though, because I'm going to say this because people get pissed off. If I actually don't talk about it, then people say, oh, well, this thing went up 100x. Why didn't you tell me? And so I guess I'm telling you now, but I'm going to tell you now, I'm going to tell you why I think it's going to go up in value. And it's all about utility. So this thing is up, 400 and whatever, 25% since I first started talking about it. But the market cap is still only about $115 million. But understand that what Zano is used for is to create privacy tokens and to make other assets private. It is also a privacy coin in its own right, similar to Monero. But let me tell you what some of the use cases for this are that are particularly relevant. I believe there was a tweet about this today. It was announced a little while ago, but there was a big announcement today about something called confidential layer. Confidential layer allows you to bridge your Bitcoin or Ethereum or Bitcoin Cash into Zano. What this means is that you're basically able to tokenize your transparent cryptocurrencies and make them private. And I'm not going to go into all the details about how confidential layer works, but this is done at a cost of 0.03%. So for 0.03%, people are going to be able to make their Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, and Ethereum private with other coins and other projects in the future. That is one use case of Zano, in addition to Zano being able to be used as a cryptocurrency in its own right. as you know, I do these workshops all over the country, and I've been using Cake Wallet. I love Cake Wallet. Cake Wallet was originally designed for Monero. I've actually been playing around with Zano integration, so the integration is almost done. I'm able to use it successfully, so literally it's only a matter of, short days or a few weeks before that's rolled out. And so that's going to be a game changer. Cake Wallet now has 500,000 users. I just saw from the CEO, Vic. It was announced today that Bitcoin.com is going to offer Zano as well. They already offer wrapped Zano. And in fact, you're going to be able to offload your Zano. Right now, you can off-ramp your wrapped Zano to a debit card. And in the future, you will also be able to offload your Zano directly to a debit card. And I believe they're also integrating confidential layer. So within the Bitcoin.com wallet, you will be able to make your Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, and Ethereum private using confidential layer in Zano. I want to describe the scale of this. It's my understanding, and somebody I'm sure will correct me if I'm wrong, that since its inception, 50 million people have downloaded Bitcoin.com wallets, and my understanding is that there are 1 million active wallets for Bitcoin.com or more today. So you look at Bitcoin.com and Cake Wallet, both integrating Zano. This is 1.5 million users that are going to be able to use Zano directly, or able to, in the case of Bitcoin.com, make your transparent blockchains private through Zano, through the wallet. That is a big deal for use. So what I'm talking about, why Zano is important, it's about use. And so the use case for this is, if you agree that we're fighting tyranny, if you agree that transparent blockchains are problematic, governments are cracking down on these things all over the world, that CBDCs are coming, then this in and of itself is a phenomenal piece of news. But you can tokenize more than just other cryptocurrencies. You can tokenize, as I mentioned, gold. You can tokenize stocks, bonds, homes, I think that there are $1.5 quadrillion worth of global assets. So this is a big market opportunity and a technology infrastructure that can be used to fight against technocracy. There's also very close to implementation Now Payments. Now Payments is a point of sale system, and Zano is going to be integrated with that. And so by the time I resume my workshops, we're going to be able to onboard people to Zano with Cake Wallet, and then onboard merchants with Now Payments, and then at the end, people will be able to use their Cake Wallet to buy something from a merchant using Now Payments. And we recently, through Dan O'Neill, were onboarded CanaSense. CanaSense is now able to take Monero and Bitcoin and Zano as soon as the Now Payments integration is done, and I could walk through how all of that works. But we're working through and now refining that onboarding process. So I'm saying this now so that people don't get mad at me later. This project that Roger told me about, that you just saw these video clips about Roger talk, I wish Roger could talk about it. Can you imagine if it wasn't me talking about Zano for the last 6 months? Imagine if it was Roger going all over the world talking about Zano. I joke about this. The U.S. government in part is going after Bitcoin Jesus so that it doesn't become Zano Zeus. And I'm only half kidding about that. This is an important technology, and so I encourage everybody to take a look at that. Which leads me to the next point. So what we're going to do with this, with the Free Roger Now campaign, and I will shift over and show you. Usually at this point, I would have told everybody to sign the open letter, but I didn't deliberately. Let me. All right, let me switch over here. So I'm popping into this is the Free Roger site, which I hope by now most of you have seen this site. Again, it's a great site. This is the form where people add their signatures. And this, I do want to take a step back and say, this is really important. Over a period of 10 years, there were 600,000 signatures for Ross Ulbricht, and that did have a real impact, a very positive impact, and played a role in securing the commitment from President Trump to commute Ross's sentence. So if you're sitting here saying, oh, I don't want to fill out these forms, they don't matter. I'm telling you right now, they matter. Every little bit that we do every day matters. And in fact, I've learned that through this process. You never know what's going to come of these things. This is incredibly important. But when you fill out the form now, there's now the option of adding, in addition to your name, your crypto address and your crypto network. So if you fill out this form and you put in your Zano wallet address and you pick Zano as the network, then we'll send you a dollar's worth of Zano. And then there's going to be a next step if you then, once you have your Zano wallet, and I will show you the Zano wallet itself is pretty easy to set up. Let me find. You can just go to zano.org and you can go to the download page and you'll see that it's available for desktop. It's available for, Linux, Windows, Mac. It's also available in the App Store. Very easy to download, typical process. So just download a wallet, set up your wallet, go through the normal process with your seed phrase and everything else. Click on your, receive, and then take that address and then add it to this form when you fill this out. And then what you're going to do is you're going to create an alias. An alias is, when you have these crypto addresses, they're these really long addresses with all these numbers and characters. No one can ever remember their address. It's one of the usability problems with crypto. One of the interesting features that Zano has added is called an alias, where you can, for I think it's 0.1 Zano, buy, or 0.11 Zano, buy an alias. Mine is @Aaron, and you can pick whatever yours is, and then whenever you are conducting business with someone, you can just give them the simple alias, and they can put that into their wallet and not have to remember or cut or paste or deal with QR codes. Just based on you typing in the alias, then the full actual address with all the numbers and characters shows up, and then you're on your way. And so if you do this, if you go through this process of creating an alias, then after you fill out the open letter, you'll get an email requesting you to submit your alias. There'll be a form that you can go to, and then you can submit your alias, and then we're going to do a random drawing amongst the people that have submitted their aliases, and there's going to be another $100 reward in Zano. And that's just to get from where we are right now, which is we have 6,254 signatures, and so basically once we get to 10,000 signatures, we're going to do that drawing, that random drawing based on the aliases. And then we're going to reevaluate the program. We're not going to stop there, but this is just the first step of it. So again, the idea here is, we want to turn this chilling effect by the IRS, of shutting everything down into an opportunity to market this and to actually distribute privacy coins and to get people using these technologies, using aliases, not just, again, this isn't about hype about price. This is about actually downloading a wallet, setting up an alias, and starting to use it, because that is the most important thing. I will play a short video that explains how to set up the alias.
App to set up your Zano wallet. Everyone, today I'll be showing you how to create a Zano alias. Zano is a privacy-centric cryptocurrency that allows you to create user-friendly addresses linked to your payment address. This makes it easier to send and receive payments without dealing with a long, complicated address. It's super simple. First, you have to set up your Zano wallet, which I've already done here, and you have to have some Zano. You can get it at any major exchange. Mexseed.com is the easiest one I'm aware of. Once you have that in your wallet there, you'll see a button right here that says Create Alias. And in fact, if you look here, if you want to receive payment, this is what a current address looks like. Really, really, really long. ZXD, blah, 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 blah. How are you have to copy and paste that or send that. It's a lot of work. But to fix that, you tap this Create Alias button you see right there under the price. So I'll tap Create Alias. And the alias is super simple. So in this case, I'm going to call this one Zano List. But we'll call it Zano List, right? And you can have a comment if you want. The fee to make an alias apparently is 0.11 Zano, which is like 25 cents or something like that. So super, super simple. I'll hit create alias, and then it's boom, done. And then you wait for a block. And so now if I want to tell anybody to send me money in the future after one block, I'll just tell them send money to me at Zano list instead of this big giant long address. I won't have to use this anymore. I just tell them send money to at Zano list, and we now have a at Zano list cryptocurrency wallet. And there you go. I waited just a moment. You can see my account balance is about 20 cents less, but I now have at Zano list as my ID. If I want, all I have to do is copy that to my clipboard and I can send that to anybody. So at Zano list is my new address. And to show you guys how easy this is too, if you make your own Zano alias and post it in the comments below this video on YouTube, I will send you one whole Zano for free for the first 10 people to post Zano alias. There you go. Give it a try today. Zano is the future of cryptocurrency payments because it's fast, private, super secure, works globally anywhere by default from the same development team that created the first version of what went on to become Monero as well.
Oh, I guess maybe I don't know if you missed that. So if you weren't hearing the audio, I'll just recap this quickly. The process here is to download the wallet, go back to freerogernow.org, sign the open letter, paste your Zano address. You will get $1 worth of Zano. Then you can go back to the wallet, create a Zano alias. You'll receive an email where you can submit your alias, and then we will do a drawing to see, once we hit 10,000 signatures, who wins the $100 prize, and then we'll evaluate and then hopefully scale this project up after that. So the idea here is, again, to do some jiu-jitsu and take this situation where they're trying to have a chilling effect and turn it into a massive opportunity to spread not only peer-to-peer digital cash, but also to raise awareness about the pardon and to roll it all into one. I'm seeing here now, don't know if he's looking at his chat, didn't hear him during slides. I'm assuming that people have been hearing me. it'll be pretty bad if no one was hearing me. Although I do hear in the other room, my wife, it's coming through. So I think the audio was generally fixed other than this piece here at the end. So in any event, that's the plan for now. I do hope people take a look at Zano. I do hope people continue to follow this case and share this information. Also, reach out to me. I want to create a group on X where we can share posts and make sure that people retweet. Here's the problem, by the way, with all of this. So understand, if you just share a link to freerogernow.org, it's automatically going to be suppressed, completely suppressed. You'll maybe get 10% of the traffic that you might normally get by just posting an image or posting text. This is because every social media platform wants to keep people captive to their site. So what I've found is the most effective way to actually get people to review this site is the old-fashioned way, person to person. DM people on X, DM people on Facebook. Go to Signal, Telegram, both individually to groups, SMS people, email people. Although if you're going to email people, I mean, it seems like post-COVID, you have to email people 5 times to actually get a response. This is just the reality that we're dealing with. And so this person-to-person approach is going to be the best way to do it. And if you can add the Zano component to it, where you're saying to somebody, hey, go check out the site. And by the way, download a Zano wallet. You'll get $1 worth of Zano. That might be an extra added incentive, and also something that will help spread the word about Zano. So I'm hopeful that that we can turn this entire situation around. And at the end of this, Roger's a completely free man. The case is dropped. He's pardoned, and now we have a wildfire of adoption of peer-to-peer privacy coins and privacy tokens. And so that's basically the summary for today. I'm happy to answer any other questions. I see a few comments in here. There's not a lot in the comment section. Somebody said Tracy's interview with Mike Adams was great. Yes, I highly encourage you to take a look at Tracy's interview with Mike Adams. And I don't know if it's not on the website. I know I have clips that I'm going to be posting, and I will post the link to the entire interview. You definitely want to check that out. Great explanation of the case and everything that's going on, kind of the most up to date of everything. And again, there are a lot of other media interviews that are being scheduled. I know Angela McCardle did an interview yesterday. And she's been terrific. By the way, I think I mentioned this earlier. She's the chair of the Libertarian Party. If it wasn't for her action, Ross wouldn't be in the position that he's in now. And so she's helping out with this Free Roger campaign. There's a lot of great people putting effort behind this. And so we have whatever it is, 42 days. So anything that you can do to help, spread the message and contact people directly about downloading a Zano wallet and filling out this form. And, if it's a barrier, if people are just resistant to the download, then have them sign the open letter anyway. We don't want to let that be a barrier, but it should be a positive incentive. So let's try to make that happen. So if there aren't any other questions, then I did create another song. By the way, at the very beginning, I played 2 songs. I actually created those with AI. I've created a Free Roger Now. I guess it's the beginnings of an album, which is available at Spotify, iTunes, Amazon. It's basically on all the major platforms. And I'm going to add additional songs. There is there's no intention of, I don't think I'm going to be making any money on this. If I do happen to make money on it, I'm going to dump it all into buying ads or whatever for promoting this campaign. I see I am a week from today, World Blockchain Roundtable show is Roger Ver case update. So I will try to make that, although I'm going to be at another event, so I might not be able to make that unless it's a break, but I encourage everybody to tune in to World Blockchain Roundtable. And I know there are going to be a large number of interviews that are going to be posted in the next week or two. So keep your eye out for that. Please, retweet and share and help get the word out. And but I think it looks good. Polymarket seems to say that this looks good. And And again, we've got to stop this behavior, though. If they want to have a chilling effect on the adoption of peer-to-peer digital technology, we need to have a chilling effect on people trampling on the Constitution and having taxpayer-funded incentives to do so. We need to make that something that people find to be deplorable. And the more I learn about IRS incentives, and I think the mic was not working when I started to talk about that. I've been doing some research into this, and I'm trying to reverse engineer the process. How was the decision made to go after people like Roger? And from previous conversations that we've had, and what I've already discussed in my book, under Biden Executive Order 14067, he basically authorized the government to go after people using a whole of government approach. So we know kind of where that started, but there's so much prosecutorial discretion involved in all of these cases. So somewhere down the line, somebody made a very specific process. Why go after Roger and not anyone else? Why go after the guy that hasn't been a citizen of this country for 10 years? Why go after him? Why pick that moment in time? And so, and then who all was involved and what are the internal processes for this? Because I think if we can expose that, then, because this is not a case of there's just one bad IRS agent. This is a systemic problem. I mean, of course, we should abolish the IRS, but short of abolishing the IRS, we should expose what the incentive systems are and how we actually managed to get into this place where they're being very egregious and very specific with their political persecution. So the taxation and tyranny will creeping forward. Exiting the system is the only escape. I agree with that. This is lawfare. I mean, I agree with that as well. I mean, this isn't going to stop. I am writing a new book. I didn't mention that. As you know, I've written an article basically stating that we already have a CBDC. You can see that on brownstone.org. Our money's already digital. It's already programmable. People are already getting debanked. Melania Trump, Barron Trump, probably half of you listening to this have been debanked. I've been debanked. The clip recently with Mark Andreessen on Joe Rogan was great, talking about the fact that all of these CEOs have been debanked, although I do wonder why he's only talking about it now. It frustrates me that people have known about this for years, and there's only been a very small group of us talking about it. I think we need to change the culture on that. People need to speak out. It's the only way anything changes. And so, in any event, this new book, I'm not only going to go into the fact that we already have a CBDC, we already have a social credit system. That social credit system is the tax code. The tax code is 75,000 pages long, 16 million words. All of our behavior is already tracked. There are already incentives and penalties for everything. And even if you think about it, well, buying a house versus buying a car, this versus that. If you are doing something that's healthcare related, that has a different tax status to it. Incentives used for green energy projects. We just don't have an app. China has an app that shows people what their social credit score is. We're not told that there's a social credit system, but if we don't follow the 16 million words, because of course none of us could read the 16 million words, if we don't follow, we get thrown in prison. And this is an interesting fact. There are 1.8 million people in prison in the United States. There are only 1.69 million people in prison in China. So in any event, this new book is going to be eye-opening, but the short form of it is, and I agree with the comment here, we already live in tyranny. We already have a social credit system. We already have CBDCs. We just don't recognize it. And what I'm going to try to lay out in this book in very clear terms is an explanation of how we already have these things. And of course, the answer is that we need to exit. And Roger's been on top of this for 14 years. And the most recent thing is he's been investing in new technologies, and as the market shifts, the most interesting thing that he's been working on and using and promoting is Zano, which is why I'm encouraging people to take a look at that, download a wallet, and then participate in the open letter signature process and use this as a way to spread the word. So with that, If there aren't any other questions, I will close out with another song that I've made that's related to this process of signing this petition and getting a Zano wallet. Let me see if I can find the right file. So have a good night, everyone. I'll see you probably not next week, but 2 weeks from now. That's
Direct result of U.S.
Today I'll be showing you how to
Their force against them. First they came for Roger, then they raided lawyers. Thought they'd make an example, but they made us stronger. They think we'll back down, but watch us rise up now. One download at a time, let me show you how. Free, Roger now. Go and get your Zano now. Sign the letter, spread it around. They can't lock our freedom down. FreeRogerNow.org. What they want, silence. What we bring, defiance. What we choose, alliance. Rise up, rise up. Download Zano first. Sign the letter, make it burst. Make your name shine bright. $100 in your sight. Can't lock up freedom. Can't stop this movement. Watch how we use it. Their force against them. Roger now. Go and get your Zano now. Sign the letter, spread it around. They can't lock our freedom down. FreeRogerNow.org. Rise up, can't lock it down. Rise up, spread it round. First they came for Roger, then they raided lawyers. Thought they'd make an example, but they made us stronger. They think we'll back down, but watch us rise up now. One download at a time, let me show you how. Free, Roger now. Go and get your Zano now. Sign the letter, spread it round. They can't lock our freedom down. FreeRogerNow.org. Rise up, can't lock it down. Rise up, spread it round.